was 83 years ago that I was a 17-year-old freshman on the campus of Florence, and I was in the Sigma Kappa house. And I remember so well the girls in the house. All of them got along so well. I just didn't believe that a group of girls could get along as well as this group did. And particularly I remember on a Monday morning when everybody would want to get in the bathroom for a shower or just in to get ready to go to class. Again, I don't know how everybody had a certain spot, but they certainly did. And they just took that spot, and everything went very, very well. At Sigma Kappa House, I can remember when I was pledged, had I worn a hat, I would have worn my pledge pin on a hat. I was so pleased to be a Sigma Kappa pledge. And I just wanted everybody I knew to know that I was a Sigma Kappa pledge.
When I went through Rush Week, preference was on my 17th birthday. So the Sigma Kappas had a birthday cake for me. So that was the best part. So that really meant that I was supposed to be a Sigma Kappa.
One of my favorite memories is the fact of the house being my second home. I loved all of the parts about it, the camaraderie of the women. I loved my house mother. I loved the fact that we had our meals all prepared for us. It was all very wonderful. And at the time I was at KU, I dated John, so that was very nice. But all the parties that are planned for you that you don't have to think about. Another memory is I was the house manager, and being the house manager at that time, I had to close the house every night, like at 10:30, and everyone had to be in. I had to see that all the windows were closed, that the house was secure. So, an interesting job that sometimes didn't make friends with everyone.
I remember the study halls that we had there, and I was pleased to be in the study hall because if I had had anything at the high school, small high school where I had been, I had to go into my own room and study at home. But this was great. It was very good. I know a couple of girls didn't appreciate them, but I did because I was at KU and I was in the Sigma Kappa house, and I was pleased to be there. Living in the Sigma Kappa house again, I remember the Sunday, the third Sunday of the month, that we were served the most wonderful dessert in the world. It was caramel pudding, and it was made with Eagle Bran. You would boil Eagle Bran an hour or more than an hour, I'm sure, but I've lost the recipe. But that would be the way it was, and it was in the can. You would just slice it. And oh, was it good, and was it full of calories, but it was just great.
The house at that time only held 35 girls, and we did not have waiters. We had houseboys. Houseboys lived in the house, had a room in the basement. There were 2 of them, and they could do anything. They not only were waiters, but they also did repairs and cut the grass and all things like that.
KU memories. When I was a freshman, in my dormitory we had the graduate counselors, and I really liked my graduate counselor. She was a Kappa, and she gave me a lot of great advice on taking exams. I asked her a lot of questions about that sort of thing. Having come from a smaller high school, that was very important to me that I do well on the exams. We had hour dances, which I enjoyed going to as a freshman with the different fraternities and met lots of people.
I remember, too, I lived on the second floor. The fire escape was on my end of the building, and it came up and into my room. And I was told and asked by Mother Gilbert to please let her know if anybody came up. I just prayed every night that nobody had a late date and came up and in my window. I'm just not sure I would have told Mother Gilbert, but I suppose I would have had to. But I never had to. It never happened. And how happy I was with that it never happened.
When I was a freshman, to go through rush, you waited until your sophomore year. So they had open houses of all of the sororities in the fall and in the springtime, which was a very interesting and fun thing, I thought, and gave you an opportunity to visit all the sororities and see what they were about and get to meet lots of new people, which I always enjoyed doing.
We had a rather long walk, I thought, to the hill, to the campus, but it wasn't nearly as long as some of the girls in some of the other sororities. But I'm quite sure that we all made it together at the same time, many of us, and got to our classes on time. I had a class from Dean Naismith, and I thought he was one of the finest individuals I had ever met. I just said he just reeked with kindness. He was so very, very fine. The name of the class that I had under Dr. Naismith was Child Development. And I don't remember anything about the contents of the course, but how well I remember him. I remember also that we all wanted to talk about basketball, but only on Fridays could we ever talk about basketball. And I know I certainly did learn a lot about basketball.
Well, it has been a very important part of my life, and it has taken a lot of time doing it, but I've enjoyed it all. I started as the treasurer of the alumni chapter here in Kansas City, and of course, as the treasurer, you were getting to know all the names of people, even though you didn't know them, and I still remember names that I maybe never met the person, but I remember their name because they paid their dues. Then I became the president, and one of the wonderful experiences of being the president, I went to the National Convention in San Juan, Puerto Rico, which was a wonderful experience and opens a whole world to you of the importance of the entire organization that you sometimes do not understand within your own chapter. But here you're seeing all the chapters together, which is wonderful. Then I became a delegate to the Panhellenic here, which opened a whole other avenue of friends and knowledge through learning about the other sororities, what they were doing, and learning even more of how much we are all really alike. how many likenesses we have. We're all headed in the same direction of leadership, scholarship, philanthropic endeavors. Then I became CPO I had KU for 12 years and worked with Emporia.
The memories I have of being a Sigma Kappa is just the sisterhood, the friendships from the very, very beginning, and so much fun. It's just, I look back on it very fondly now, and we still are connected, my pledge class, and it's just amazing through the years how close people can stay.
My name is Sharon McCarthy Eulig, and my parents had 4 daughters. Their oldest daughter came to KU. Her name was Diane McCarthy Knowles, and she pledged Sigma Kappa. 2 years later, I came to KU and was thrilled to be invited to become a Sigma Kappa member. 2 years after that, my younger sister, Janice McCarthy Fisher, came to KU and pledged Sigma Kappa. And 3 years after her, our youngest sister, Tama McCarthy Davies, came to KU and became a Sigma Kappa. So all of my siblings are also my Sigma Kappa sisters.
I just remember us flipping the way.
That's the one that Kathy brought to Campbell.
I'll never forget that. He's like, "You can do it," and I'm like, "Wow!"
They're like, "Shift your weight."
And there he was on the floor.
I was like, "Are you okay?" Hey, I set up that little demonstration that was going.
Well, at least were you the one flipping or just Denise?
Oh, I was flipping the guy teaching us.
Yeah.
Okay, well, they must have been
Oh my
small
God,
guys. Or were they big guys?
No, he was telling you, shift with your hip
And you did.
It does work, and they still.
Has
teach
anybody
that.
had to put that into
They
practice?
still teach that.
only on my honeymoon.
No.
There is a museum on the campus here, or campus at KU, and there is a statue of both Dr. Naismith and Fogg Allen. And Fogg Allen, of course, was the basketball coach at the time, and they were both very, very friendly. I had a thrill of a lifetime just a year ago when my family and I came over to the museum, and I had my picture taken standing between Dr. Naismith and Fogg Allen. I used to see the two on the campus together every once in a while, and I always wondered if they ever talked about anything but basketball. It was, anyway, I just loved Dr. Naismith, and to me he just reeked with kindness. He had been a minister at some time in his life. I'm sure that it was before he had come to Kansas.
Then I became the National Finance Chairman, which was a very enjoyable job because I loved numbers, loved mathematics, and worked with the national organization as the National Finance Chairman for 4 years. Then I became the National Treasurer of Sigma Kappa, which is now the National Vice President of Finance. That was a most interesting job. I traveled a lot, spent about 90 days a year away from home, but enjoyed working with all the chapters around the country. Many wonderful, wonderful experiences, and again see and learned that all of our chapters are not identical. Those chapters that have houses feel that that's the only way to go. Those that don't have houses love their situation also. So there are many differences throughout the United States, but we're all headed in one direction. For our leadership, our scholarship, making these women into leaders in our community.
To me, the gathering for the Sigma Kappa Centennial is going to be just, so special for everyone. I think I was there at the house in the middle of the 60s, and So years behind me and years that followed of all the sisters, and they have all their memories and their stories will come together, and we'll get to rekindle friendships and then meet total strangers from different years that were there, but all together we were all, you know, part of that wonderful sisterhood that continues to this day.
The chapter's 100-year celebration means that we're recognizing all the hard work and dedication that all of our members have given to Sigma Kappa for 100 years. And there have been numerous times throughout the years where I have indicated to somebody I was a Sigma Kappa and found out that we had this common bond. And I'm just very proud to be a member of Xi Chapter, Sigma Kappa.
Well, I hear the sun deck's gone, as Mary talked about.
I can't believe that.
We had a lot of good times out there. I don't know that I ever got a tan, but I sat out there a lot. And then the fire escape was kind of our patio. Mary and I had that room. We had that several
The
times.
upstairs or the downstairs?
Upstairs.
We were upstairs.
Yeah, with Tasha and Mary. I mean, and Laura.
Oh, with Laura Fleek, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I
But Laura, Tasha always slept with the window open,
She was always
and I was
Well, the
always
summers there were
cold,
people
so there was
living there.
arguing going
I
on.
remember that.
Yeah, do you remember that?
I remember that. I remember when they tried to put that pool up on Sunday. Do you remember that? And they tried to secretly fill it.
How do you secretly fill
I
it?
don't know. And I was like, what the hell are they doing out there? Because I watched it go on, and all of a sudden there was like, blink, there was like a pool there. Don't you remember that? And there was like
Whose
the
room
hose
was that off?
It was off of.
we changed every semester.
Yeah.
I know, but I couldn't even picture the room.
Oh yeah, was there?
Yeah, it was a
the very
four-person
end.
room.
It was a four-person.
At the very
It was a big
end.
room in the very end. I remember that.
Sharon, what was her name? Debbie Buck, Kim, and I lived in it one year. Or one semester.
Sharon Sears?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it was our first year in the house. That was great having that room, though.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I lived there in that room a couple times.
Yeah.
Did you? It was a good room.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I like those four-person rooms.
Yeah. It was fun.
There was one that was in the front, in the middle, in the front. They called it Big
Right.
Blue.
Big Blue, I lived
Oh,
there.
yeah.
I lived in Big Blue, yeah.
I think I might have lived there once, too.
Laura,
It was
I
next
lived
to it.
by
I
ourselves.
lived next to it.
It wasn't blue.
I don't think.
No, I don't know why it was
I think it
Big
was blue before we
I
got
think
there.
you're right. It
or
had that
something.
name, but it was never blue.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Looking back at the time when I was a collegiate, honestly, my absolute favorite time was always during Rush. There was something special about having an entire week where everyone pretty much shut down their lives to do nothing but hang out and be sisters. Nobody had classes, nobody had homework, nobody had work. We did nothing but literally just spend time together and laugh, be crazy, work hard, and get to know each other. During that time, a lot of times alumni would come back, and a lot of times they were some of our favorite alumni would come back and pop in the house or visit with us and come to help during Rush. I remember Patty Bays at the time was our alumni Rush chairperson, and she would always come in with a Costco-sized jar of Tums, and that would get her through the entire week. And she'd live with us for the week, and she would be up early like we were and stay up late just like we were as well. Also, TK Shively Porter, she was another favorite alumni that would pop in and check on us. So I think definitely some of my favorite times and my best memories have all really stemmed from Rush Week while I was a collegiate at KU.
I certainly think that Sigma Kappa has certainly impacted my life over the years. There is loyalty, there's leadership, there's service, and friendship, and I hope I have been able to install all of those in my makeup, and a continuation of it from Sigma Kappa.
It was a recolonization pledge class.
Oh, that's right.
It was,
Yeah.
It was
So
huge.
we
We
had,
were the year after you, and we were not that like.
and we had like,
Every, it was huge.
Yeah.
and we had, it was really fun because we had, you know, all walks of life,
Yeah.
all
did.
interests, all
And it was
behaviors.
really cool because we had national officers that like rushed us.
Yeah.
And that came in and then did all of
At
our...
the union.
Yeah, and they did all of our...
You did at the
Yes,
union?
they did all of our initiations and everything. It was all by national officers.
It was cool.
So what does
Very
Directives
cool.
do?
Wow.
They
Well,
supported
they
it. They
did
helped.
support them because the house had gotten small. And there wasn't that many
Yeah,
of
I
them.
know.
And
But a
they
few
gave them-
stayed.
a few of them stayed, and they offered them to become early alums.
A few stayed and a few went.
Yeah. Me and
Barb Wolf stayed.
Barb.
She's in Nashville.
Was it you? She paid to peel her sunburn.
Yeah.
I think my absolute favorite memories as being a KU student definitely center around the campus itself. KU is the most gorgeous campus. I think hands down anybody would agree with that. We have the beautiful rolling hills. Jayhawk Boulevard is just literally a picturesque college campus. Some of my favorite memories literally include the Saturday mornings where we'd wake up and there was a football game and we'd all throw on our KU t-shirts and jeans and flip-flops because that was absolutely the perfect thing to wear for that wonderful warm fall day. We'd head on down to Memorial Stadium, watch a KU game. Often we'd lose, but we'd still have fun, and head back up the hill. And so I think that those are some of my absolute favorite memories as a KU student.
Yeah, and I thought I would have problems recognizing people, but
Everybody looks the same.
yeah.
They really do.
Just as young and
Oh,
as
absolutely.
we ever did.
Yeah, your skin's just
Denise
as
wore
tight.
pearls back then.
I did. She was like, I still have them. They're longer now.
Well, a lot of
Like
things.
a lot of things. Just kidding.
A little lower.
Just kidding.
So one of the biggest things that sticks out into my mind is how much I disliked recruitment but loved the time I got to spend with the sisters during recruitment. You found friends you didn't have before, you spent a lot of time with each other, and got to know a lot of people that you didn't even know before. Additionally, you know, KU game days, football, basketball, and then just overall being an officer, getting the opportunity to, you know, plan things, learn different aspects of the sorority that you didn't know before.
To me, the Centennial really is a twofold opportunity. First of all, it's a chance for all of us to look back at the past, all the hard work that everyone has done to build Xi to what it is today. But it's even more importantly an opportunity for us to look to the future to see what each of us can do to ensure that Xi is around for the next 100 years.
Well, I think that as the 100th anniversary, we have been in existence for 100 years. We have been successful throughout these 100 years. We owe a lot to those people who have been so dedicated to Xi chapter and to Sigma Kappa in general. I remember from my college days, the president of the corporation at that time was Pat Stomach. We had many corporation board meetings at the house, getting ready to build the now house on West Campus Road. I think we owe a great deal to those people who have been so dedicated throughout the years through their gifts of time, their gifts of money, to help the chapter. I think we, in the next 100 years, or looking to the future in general, we need to thank those people. We owe a great deal to those people who have been so dedicated, because I think for every chapter or any chapter to be successful, they need a strong alumni support group.
It means the self-respect, the friendliness, mutual respect, helping others. These are things that are so important. And I certainly think about the 5 students who eventually were able to get the chapter in the of Sigma Kappa basically where we are today. I am so proud of those ladies, and thinking of those 5 students that worked so hard through difficulties to come up with the chapter as we have it today. The basics that we have of Sigma Kappa. It was all started with Mary Cafferty Lowe in Colby College in Waterville, Maine.
And I think Psi chapter has had that, not only from their own alums, but from those of other chapters who have been willing to give it a lot of support, and that is wonderful. I would hope that in the next 100 years that each one of us would do anything that we can to support our chapter, whether it be our gifts of money or our gifts of helping the chapter. We want it to be successful. We want it to be there forever.
She was the only lady in the a student in the school at one time, and she was interested in and had the idea of wanting to have an organization, since there were men in fraternities, something for ladies in college. So I think of them so much when I think of a time like this, of celebrating friendships and thinking of them, the hardships that they endured. All of those things went, and many, many, many more hardships they had to endure, and before they could have the basics of what we have today. And how proud I am to be a Sigma Kappa.